Hi there, VC. Outside my house there's a minor snowstorm going on, so I thought this was a perfect moment to do a little vinyl update for February. I know that February isn't over yet, but I still thought it was a great moment. Uh, February has been a pretty good month for record buying. I even managed to buy some records that may be nominated for album filing of the year 2014. So let's get on with it. And in the beginning of this month, they had a minor sellout of CD records at the warehouse Åhléns. They sold out some pretty new records for only $1, 10 Swedish crowns, and it was also many familiar titles. And this one was the one that I was most happy about. This is my favorite group, Depeche Mode, and the latest album, Delta Machine. This one was not opened. It was still in plastic cover, and it is a version with both original CD and also a bonus CD containing 4 bonus tracks. And it's also a very nice lyrics book and with great pictures. And this one, for only $1, was definitely something I was extremely happy about finding. I wanted to dance on the street when I left the warehouse. So this one definitely was the finding of the month. But it may also, in the end of this year, even be the finding of 2014. Who knows? Another great finding on the same sellout was this one. It's a Swedish pop composer, rock singer Staffan Hellstrand. Staffan Hellstrand has a great voice. He's a great composer, and also a great lyrics writer. He had many great hits in Sweden. This is his latest album, self-titled, from 2012. I was very happy to find this one. Another one that I was very happy to find as a sellout was this one. This is a tribute album to the Swedish king of pop, Mauro Scocco. Mauro Scocco began his career in the 80s in a new wave synth band called Ratata. Extremely marvelous band from the 80s. And then he went solo and had many big hits and became one of Sweden's most popular pop singers. And this is a tribute album released when he celebrated his 50th birthday. So this is Mauro Scocco 50 en hyllning kom ut ikväll. Mauro Scocco 50 tribute come out tonight. And this is some of Sweden's most popular artists, the elite of Swedish pop industry, singing their Mauro Scocco or Ratata songs. And we have here Swedish names like Bo Kaspers Orkester, Plura from Älvkvarn, is one of Mauro Scocco's closest friends, Peter Lemark, Klerup. We have 505s. It's a Swedish band who does music that sounds like the 80s. Eva Dahlgren, Money Brother, Peter Marklund, Johan Kinde, one of Scocco's oldest friends from the 80s, and Mats Ronander, and a lot of great names here at this double album. So this one for only $1 was marvelous finding. So with that, let's move on to the second-hand finding, and I'm a huge fan of British 80s group Living in a Box. Some of you may remember their hits, the song that was named after themselves, Living in a Box. You have Scales of Justice, Blow the House Down, Room in Your Heart, and both their album. Unfortunately, they only released 2 albums, and their second album, Gate Crashing, is fantastic album, maybe one of the best albums of the 80s. And as I said, unfortunately, they only released 2 albums, but as a replacement. Might be happy to find the solo album of the singer of the band, Richard Derbyshire, and his album How Many Angels from 1984. I think definitely Richard Derbyshire had a great voice. It was a great voice for living in a box. Very filled with both humor and happiness, and still able to do a great sensible singing also. So definitely I was happy to find this one. And moving on to the format that I talked about in my last clip, my previous clip, the 78, I had bought a 78 record also during the February. This one is 78 that I was extremely happy to find, because it's childhood memories from my earliest days as a jazz lover. I talked in my jazz video about the radio program Smoke Rings, that the special program that made me discover Boyd Rayburn, the big band leader, and his music. In the same program, they also played a song with Benny Goodman that I really liked, a song called "Oh Baby," and I managed to find that one on 78. It's a Polyphone, the 1947 Super Rhythm Style series, and that is definitely a sign of that this is a quality recording. This song is a great composition. It's made in such a marvelous style. The song starts with the Benny Goodman Quartet playing a wonderful, smooth tune for a couple of minutes until the entire big band breaks through, and soon it starts almost like a duel between the quartet and the big band that ends with victory for the big band, and the quartet and the big band play so well together in this song. And you also have Benny Goodman singing in this song also. He does a very great singing. So this one is totally unpredictable and great big band track from the 40s, and I was very happy to find this one. Oh Baby is a very long melody, so they have split the song up in two parts, one on each side. I've also bought a lot of Hammond records, and I got them very cheap, so there's a lot of Hammond organists here that I haven't barely heard of, so many of them are risk takers, but as I said, I got them pretty cheap, so if they wouldn't go into the collection, I don't, it doesn't matter, but hopefully they're good enough to go into the collection. But this one will definitely not go into the collection. I was very disappointed in this one. This is Frank Valdor, well famous easy listening big band leader, and his Hammond Hit Parade. I hope that this were going to be a little familiar style to James Lott's Hammond Organ that I showed in my Hammond video. But when James Lott actually had the decency to leave his big orchestra back home and just have a little smaller band, Frank Valdor comes in with his entire big band. Normally when there's a style and that isn't all that good, a Hammond organ actually could save the entire album, but this one does nothing. The big band, the Frank Valdor big band, is horrible. Sounds typical like those German easy listening big bands, and the Hammond organ definitely does nothing, unfortunately, to fill this album. So this one is not going into the collection. I was very disappointed in this one. Here we have a sleeve that looks a little Flower Power style, maybe. This is Golden Hour of Hammond Hits, Johnny Patrick at the Hammond organ. We also have here Pete Cooley, Hammond Hits. Is there anyone who doesn't believe that this one is particularly made for cocktail parties when you look at this album sleeve. Very colorful. Here is a special midnight Hammond music. The Hammond organist is Jerry Roberto, released on Blinder Records. Very interesting, hopefully. And we have Hammond for Dancing, and Hammond Organ Gus Clark. And this is more or less a jazz album with great classical jazz tunes like On the Sunny Side of the Street, Deep Purple, If I Had You, It Had to Be You, and many great tunes. So this one is going to be very, very interesting. And finally, when it comes to the Hammond organ albums, we have Hammond Goes Latin, Herb Wonder, his swinging organ and combo, playing music in Latin style, mambo songs, we have bossa nova songs, samba songs, beguine songs. I have another Hammond Latin album, and that one is so-so, not that good. So this is a risk taker, but I hope it will be good. On to some real jazz music, and this is something I was very happy to find. Charles Redland Orchestra with Orchestra, 1935 to 1963. Big band music is great for dancing. Charles Redland was a Swedish big band leader that has been sadly forgotten today. And this one is very, very special. We have here the B-side that is a compilation of great Charles Redland songs from the 30s and 40s mainly. And the A-side that contains a live radio recording from 1963 announced by Charles Redland himself. And I am a huge fan of live radio shows with the jazz music. So this one is going to be very exciting to listen to. Oscar Peterson, the Oscar Peterson 4, If You Could See Me Now, Joe Pass, Martin Drew, and the Danish jazz musician Niels Henrik Ørsted Peterson. This is a very new Oscar Peterson from recorded in 1983. I think Oscar Peterson was a little bit better in the earlier days, but it's very interesting to have a newer record also. Released on Pablo. And this one I was very, very happy to find. This is a live album with Swedish rock musician Don Hylander and his group Raimontana Band and singer Py Bäckman. Py Bäckman I talked about in my previous vinyl update. Don Hylander is a rock singer from the south part of Sweden. I really like his great production. He's great composer and his great voice. I like his lyrics, and I was very happy to find a live recording, a live album with him. This is released on Almatea, and all of the famous musicians that he always surrounds with are here. Py Bäckman, of course, Tove Ness, singer, always with Don Hylander in his recordings, and great Swedish rock singer Anneli Rudé. You have Clarence Överman, Roxette's producer, and Hasse Olsson, the organist. Definitely, it's going to be very, very exciting to listen to this one. I think it's a great, all of the great Don Hylander songs and some of Py Bäckman's songs also from her early days. This one is going to be very, very exciting. In my previous vinyl update, I also talked about that I love the music of Alf Robertson. the Swedish country singer, country schlager singer, and I was able to find an entire album with Alf Robertson called Närmast till att leva, released on RCA Victor. This is one is from 1972, and it contains the song Lasse and Marie. It's one of his most famous songs. It's a Swedish version of the Chris Christopherson song Judy and the Kid, released on RCA Victor here. This one is going to be very, very exciting. This is a jazz album called J&K. This is trombonists J.J. Johnson and Kay Winding, along with guitarist Billy Bauer, guitarist who used to play with Lenny Tristano, Charlie Mingus bass, Wally Cirillo piano, and Kenny Clark drums. I think this is 50s recording, released on Savoy Music. So this one is going to be very, very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to listening to this one. More jazz. We have Kjarr Arnold, big band leader, who outside Sweden is maybe most famous for his works with Quincy Jones in the 50s. This one, however, is on its own, and his Swedish Radio Studio Orchestra. They're doing their own arrangement of the Broadway musical songs. This one, I hope it is great. It's recorded in 1961, and I hope it's great. However, it could also be maybe not that great as I'm hoping to. So it's going to be very interesting. Released on Swedish label Metronome. And speaking of Kjarr Arnold, I was also able to find a single, jazz single. Isn't It Romantic? Immortal Songs of Richard Rodgers. And he and the orchestra plays 3 Richard Rodgers songs: This Can't Be Love, Lover, and Falling in Love with Love. Released also on Metronome. So as you can see, I've been having quite a good time this month, and hopefully March will also be a good one. So with that, I'm going to wish you a nice weekend, and I hope to see you soon.